Hi students, in today's lecture module, I am going to discuss with you the solution to the revision sums from unit 1 to 3, which I had given you last week. So let's see the solution to these 5 sums that I had given. So do follow carefully. The first sum given to you was very simple and direct. In a firm of 400 employees, the percentage of monthly salary saved by each employee is given in the following table, represented through a bar graph. So the sum clearly says you have to draw a bar graph or so-called bar diagram. So here I have taken the x-axis with scale 10 and multiples of 10. The y-axis, you need to label all these axes. The y-axis, I have taken multiples of 20. So you will understand that we are going to show the frequency or the number of employees on the y-axis, and we are going to show the savings in percentage on the x-axis. So you need to label your axis. That's very important. Now let's start plotting our bar diagram. So the first row, the values are 20 on the x-axis and 105 on the y-axis. So 20 on the x-axis is here and 105 will be somewhere here, right? So we draw the bar chart. Since it is a bar, we represent it as a bar chart and label it as 105. Then the second is 30 on the x-axis and 199, right? And 199 on the y-axis. So this again, we are going to show it like this. So 199 are just a little below 200. So this is going to be 199. Then 40 on the x-axis and 29 on the y-axis. This is going to be somewhat like this, 29. And the last value is 50 on the x-axis and 73, right? A little above 60, 73 on the y-axis. So that's it. This is the solution for question number 1. It's a very clear question. Draw a bar graph. Now, this is a vertical bar diagram. You can represent this using a horizontal bar chart or diagram too. Okay? Okay. Let's move on to the second question. The second question is, you're being asked to draw a ogive for the following frequency distribution. So as you know, for drawing an ogive, a less than or a more than ogive, you need to now prepare the more than ogive and less than ogive table. So more than ogive, you have to calculate the cumulative frequency, and less than ogive, you have to calculate the cumulative frequency. So more than, so we are going to calculate more than 1, more than 11, more than 21, 31, 41, 51, 61, 71, so on. And in the case of less than, we are going to calculate less than 10, less than 20, less than 30, less than 40, and so on. So now let's quickly calculate the values for more than and less than ogive. So how many students have scored more than 1 mark? I'm sure it's very clear. So all these students have scored more than 1 mark. So we need to total all the frequency, 3 plus 8 plus 12 till 2. We will come to 60. Now, how many have got more than 11? So more than 11 in the sense it is only these students other than those who have got between 1 to 10. So all you need to do is 60 minus 3, which is 57. So how many have scored more than 21 marks? Right, so that is more than 21, which means you have to minus another 8 from it. So which will land up to be 49. So when we do the similar process, we will be able to fill up the more than ogive table values as follows: 13, 7 and 2. Now let's prepare the less than ogive table values. Now less than 10. So it's very clear how many scored less than 10 marks. Only 3. So then how many scored less than 20? So it is 8 plus 3. That is going to be 11. So how many scored less than 30? That is going to be 12 plus 8 plus 3. So we're just going to add 12 to this 11 and that becomes 23. So in the similar way, we are going to calculate the values for the other less than ogive table. So this is going to be 53, 58 and 60. So once the table has been prepared, now drawing the more than and less than ogive is going to be very simple. Now I'm going to take this table forward to my next slide. Okay, the same what we had calculated in the previous slide. Now you need to draw the ogive. So the ogive is also a graph. So here we see that the values on the, so more than ogive, this is going to be the x value and this is going to be the y value. Similarly, for less than ogive, this is going to be the x value and this is going to be the y value. So first we will plot more than ogive graph. So the x value is 1. So we see that the x values are almost 1, 11, 21, 61 and 70 and 71 and so on. Right. So we will take the scale for the x-axis as multiples of 10 and I think we need to have till 70 because we have 71. Then in the case of, okay, so here also we have the highest value of less than 80, right, till less than 80. So we can have the scale value till 80 itself. So now let's draw the more than ogive graph. So it's very simple. We have determined our x value is 1, y value is 60. So 1 comma 60. So 1 comma 60. So we are going to plot it somewhere here. Then 11 comma 57. So 11 on the x-axis is somewhere going to be after 10. 11 comma 57. 57 is going to be somewhere here. Then 21 comma 49. So 49 is going to be somewhere here. Next 31 comma 37. So 37. And then the, assuming this is 30, right? And then 41 comma 23. So 41 comma 23. So 23 is going to be somewhere here. Then 51 comma 13. So 13 is somewhere a little above 10. And then 61 comma 7. So less than 10. And then 71 comma 2. So we can see the shape of the more than ogive, more like an S shape. It takes a turn. Now let's quickly plot the less than ogive also. So less than ogive, here you can see it is less than 10 on the x-axis. So 10 on the x-axis and 3 on the y-axis. So 10 on the x-axis and 3 on the y-axis. Then 20, less than 20, right? So it's less than 10. So it's going to be somewhere, okay, lesser than 10. Then lesser than 20. So less than 20 and 11 on the x-axis. 11 on the x-axis. And then 30 and 23, right? So 30 and 23. Then 40 and 37. So 37 is going to be somewhere here. Then 50 and 47. 50 and 47. So this is going to raise somewhere here. And then 60 and 53. So 60 and 53. Then 70 and 58. 58 and 80 and 60. 80 and 60. Okay. So now all we need to do is now join these dots carefully, and we get okay. So the first one, this is the more than ogive, and the second one is the less than ogive. So that's it. If you are asked to calculate the median, you can just connect it here, and this will be the median value. So this is how we solve the ogive problem. Now let's quickly move on to the next sum, third sum. So this is again a very simple sum. You're being given a set of individual observations and you have to calculate mean, median, mode and range. So here you see the values are not in order, and especially for calculation of median, we need for individual series, it should be arranged in either ascending or in descending order. So let's quickly arrange this in ascending order. So we have 4 13s followed by 14, 2, and then we have a 16, 18 and 21. So let's calculate the mean for individual series. The formula for mean is summation x by n. X is nothing but the given values. When you total up these values, this is 135 divided by n. The number of observations are 9. So mean is 15. Now the same sum, let's quickly calculate the median. The median, you know, for individual series, the formula is size of n plus 1 by tooth item. N we know is 9, so 9 plus 1 by 2, which is 10 by 2, that is equal to fifth item size. So now let's go to this. Since we have already arranged it in ascending order, let's find out what is the fifth item. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 14 is going to be the median of this problem. Okay. And the next is mode. So mode is also, we know, that number which occurs more number of times. So either you can calculate it in the form of a small table here, so that we have x value 13, 14, 16, 18 and 21. And frequency 13 occurs 4 times, 14 occurs 2 times, 16 occurs once, 18 occurs once, 21 occurs once. So which value has highest frequency? 13. So mode is 13. And the last part is range. And calculating range also is not a problem. We know the formula is largest number minus the smallest number. We can see from the series, the largest number is 21 and the smallest number is 13, right? So the formula for range is L minus S, which is 21 minus the smallest number, that is going to be 8. So we have calculated the mean, median, mode as well as the range for the third sum. Now let's go to the fourth sum. Now, in the case of the fourth sum, we see that the data, so here you're again asked to calculate mean, median, mode, standard deviation, as well as the coefficient of variation for the following frequency distribution. And we see that the distribution given is a continuous series. So we need to use the formulas with respect to continuous series. So now let's calculate the relevant table values for calculating mean, median, mode, and standard deviation, and so on. So whatever is given is the class, and the frequency is also given. You need to calculate the mid value. So 51 to 55. What will be the middle value? We know it is 53. 656 to 60, the middle value is 58. 61 to 65, the middle value is 63, and this is 68, right? So next is cumulative frequency. So we need all this, right, for calculating median and all. So let's finish with cumulative frequency. So we have F2, so we'll start with 2, then 7 plus 2, then 8 plus 9, right? Which will be 17, and then 17 plus 4, that will be around 21. Next, we calculate deviation. So deviation, D, in the case of continuous series, it is M minus assumed value divided by I. So we have the mid value. So let's assume that this is A. Okay, so let us assume that this is the mean. And we know the class interval I is phi in this case. So once we have identified A and the class interval, see, you can assume A as 63 also. That's your convenience. The answer is not going to change the final values. So using this formula, we are now going to calculate the values of deviation. And we find that the values of deviation are going to be -1, 0, 1, and 2. So once you have D, next we'll calculate D squared. So it is just 1, 0, 1, and 4. Then we'll calculate FD, and then F into D squared. So you have F, you have D. So this is going to be -2, 0, 8, 8, and the total of FD is going to be 14, and FD squared, so F is 2 and D squared is 1. So similarly, so let's calculate 7 into 0, 8 into 1, and 4 into 4. Total of FD square is 26, and total of frequency here, that is 21. So once you have calculated all these values, all we need to do is just start using the formula and solve. I have just carried over the calculated values to this slide. And so now let's quickly calculate mean in the case of continuous series. In the case of continuous series, the formula for mean, we know it is A plus summation FD by N, right, into I. So let's substitute the values. A, we have assumed 58 as the assumed mean, and summation FD, you know it is 14, and summation N, you know it is 21 into 5. And when you solve this, you will get 58 plus 3.23, that lands up to 61.33. Okay, now we will calculate median. So for median, we need cumulative frequency, which we have calculated already. And in the case of continuous series, the formula for median is size of n by 2th item. So we know n is 21. So 21 by 2, which is 10.5th item. And we can see from the cumulative frequency, our 10.5th item lies in 61 to 65 class, right? It lies in 61 to 65 class. Now we use the formula for median, right? That is L plus n by 2 minus cumulative frequency into I. So this is cumulative frequency of the class before the median class. Just substituting the values 61, 10.5 minus cumulative frequency of the class before the median class. You can see it is 9 minus 9 divided by frequency of the median class, that is 8 into 5. So when you solve these, you will be getting it as 61.0.937. That lands up to 61.937 is the median. Okay. Now quickly let's calculate the mode for this sum. And you can see in this sum, take the first column, which is the class, and the second, that is the frequency. Just by observation, we can see that the highest frequency is 8, and it lies in 61 to 65 class. So we can calculate mode using the formula, right? So mode here lies in 61 to 65 class, and we use the formula L plus delta 1 divided by delta 1 plus delta 2 into I. And substituting the values, so we know that delta 1, it is nothing but right, it is nothing but the frequency, right? This is going to be f0, f1 and f2. So f0 minus f1, that is going to be delta 1, which is 1. And then f2 minus f0, that is going to be delta 2. And we know that when we are using this delta, we use determinant. So we are ignoring the signs. So we see that delta 1 formula is determinant of f0 minus f1, that is equal to 1. And delta 2 formula is determinant of f0 minus f2, that is equal to 4. So once we have these values, so let us calculate mode. So mode is going to be 61 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 4 into I. So when you solve this, you get 62, right? So we have also been asked to calculate the standard deviation for this sum, and the formula for standard deviation for continuous series is summation ft squared by n minus summation ft by n the whole squared into I. Now all these values are available. All you need to do is substitute the values 26 by 21 minus 14 by 21 the whole squared into 5. So when you solve this, finally you will land up with 1.238 minus 0.36 into 5, and on final solving you will get 4.685. So we have got standard deviation. So the next step, okay, so the next step is coefficient of variation. So coefficient of variation, the formula is standard deviation by median or mean into 100. So let's substitute. Sigma is 4.685, and we have already calculated the median or mean for this sum, right? The mean, we can either use the median or the mean, anything. And we have already calculated the mean value to be around 61.33. So when you solve this, we get the coefficient of variation as 7.639. So that's it, right? Simple, straight application of the formulas. Now let's quickly complete the last sum. Here you are being asked to calculate the quartile, the decile, Q3, D7, P20 from the following grouped frequency. So what you have been given is the class and the corresponding frequency. So here, let's calculate the cumulative frequency first. Okay. So the cumulative frequency, because see here you need to only calculate Q3, D3, D7 and P20. We don't need like FD square and all those values, right? So just cumulative frequency is more than enough. So 3, 7, 9 and 10. And we know that total frequency or N is equal to, right, 10. Now let's calculate Q3, which is the third quartile, and you know the formula is, for since it's a continuous series, it is size of 3 into n by fourth item. So that is going to be 3 into 10 by 4, that is equal to 7.5th item. Now we know that the 7.5th item Q3 lies in which class? 6 to 8 class. So you need to calculate the exact value of Q3 now. So it's all the same, L plus 3n by 4 minus cumulative frequency of the class before the quartile class divided by frequency into I. So we said that L is nothing but the lower limit of the quartile class. So it is 6. 3n by 4 we have already calculated, and cumulative frequency of the class before the quartile. So this is Q3, right? So before the quartile class is 7 divided by frequency of the quartile class, which is 2 into the class interval. Here we see that 2 to 4, 4 to 6. So the class interval is 2, 3, 4, right? Excluding 4. So the class interval is going to be 2. So if you take the second class, 4 to 6, only numbers 4 and 5 are included. So the class interval is 2. So third quartile, once you solve this, you will get 6 plus 0 0.5, that is equal to 6.5. So now let's quickly calculate the decile. We have been asked to calculate D7. It's again the same thing. So here we need to find out size of 7 times n by, when it is decile, it is 10th item, right? So here it will be 7 into 10 by 10, that is equal to 7th item. So we know that the 7th item lies in this class. So D7 is in the second one, right? 4 to 6 class. So D7, the same formula, L, right? So we'll be using, 4 plus 7 times the same formula, 7n by 10 minus cumulative frequency divided by frequency into I. L is nothing but 4 here. So 4 plus 7 times n by 10, we know that it is 7, already it has been calculated, minus 3 divided by 4 into 2. So this lands up to 4 plus 2, that is equal to 6. Okay, now let's quickly finish the last, the next calculation, that is going to be percentile. Percentile is, we have been asked to calculate P20. So same thing, size of 20 into n by, since it is percentile, it is 100th item. So we already know n is 10. So this is what we get. That is 200 by 100. So that is equal to second item. So let's go to the previous slide. So you can see that here, okay, this is the cumulative frequency. The second item, it lies in, so it lies in 2 to 4 class, right? So 2 to 4 class. So P20 lies in 2 to 4 class. So let's use the same formula to calculate the exact values of P20. So this is the formula into I. So when you substitute L, 2 plus 2 minus cumulative frequency of the class before the P20 class, that is going to be 0 here, divided by frequency of P20 class into I. So when you solve this, you're going to get 2 plus 1.3, that is going to be 3.33, that is P20. Okay, so this is how we solve the last sum. All the sums are very simple, so you can try. If you have any further doubts with respect to solving these sums, you can always put it in the comment box and I am ready to clarify you. So until then, stay safe, stay healthy and stay positive. Very soon we would be meeting in our physical classes. So welcome you back. So let's stay safe till then. Thank you.